All right, there's your cue, Meredith.
Why, yes, Hex Allen, you do look like that. Good morning, everybody. This is Ragin with. We've got a special guest today, Hex Allen. We may have a second one. We don't know. He might be sleeping. I don't know. Anyway, this is episode 23. You're Ragin with.
Ragin.
Why, yes, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure that you are hitting the subscribe button wherever you are watching because we are simulcasting from Ragin ABC. Hit the button. Geek Insider, Comics and More New Jersey, as well as Indie Vault. And today's special guest is Hex Allen. He has got a campaign in demand ending very soon, and we're going to talk to him today as we drop this card. Hello, Hex.
Hey,
How are you?
Hey,
What's up?
Varian Grant here. Oh, here's Varian Grant. This is the view of Varian Grant. Hey, everybody.
How are you today?
Excellent, swell. A little tired.
Yeah,
running a little bit on steam, but
yeah. Steam and hope.
And caffeine.
And lots and lots of caffeine, which is failing me right now. Nephilim Squadron.
Yeah.
You are ending that pretty soon, and we will talk about that. I will bring that up, but I want to know about the creative journey. Like, at what point did little Hex go, I want to make comic books?
Who you are, who I am. I was born a wealthy white child. I was a 70s kid. You know.
That's why we get the joke.
Thank you very much. Didn't have to explain the reference. I don't like explaining references. You got to be along on the ride.
And old.
Yeah. I was. I guess it all started with Star Wars, like with most guys in my demographic, and I remember when I was in like second grade, drawing like the Hoth battle scene over and over again, with a friend of mine, and we'd have like competitions. We could draw the best Hoth battle scene and from Empire Strikes Back. And that's, I guess, when the drawing fever started for me as an artist, and I never really stopped. And then I got into, doing mock characters, like fake rip-off characters with like G.I. Joe and Conan the Barbarian, and and then later it was Robotech or Macross, the anime. That was shipped over here in the 80s, and that's Robotech was really the inspiration for Nephilim Squadron, and it all started off as rip-off stuff as you do when you're a kid, and later developed an original story for it. Switched around some of the characters and made them more original. And so I started working on that in earnest in college. So yeah, the story was like in my head for a long time.
I was gonna say, I mean, that's not just a couple of years. That's probably decades from the sound of it.
Yeah, I've been working on this.
Like, Meredith.
I'm just saying, I mean, I have stories that are that old that I never really dusted off, and I want to hear about the progression of this story, I mean, because as we grow and as we age and things like that, these characters kind of grow and age with us, and how that kind of builds into what it is today.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm really glad it took this long, actually, because if I really tried to push and publish it, it would have been a much hollower uh, experience, I think, for the reader.
Well, what was what was your first entry into comic books? First as a reader and then as a creator?
Uh, well, for comics, I got into it around the age of 13. When a kid at school, I was in 7th grade, I think. He was like, "Hey, do you know the Avengers?" And I was like, "Yeah." I really didn't know. And because, well, see, at that time I was really into Robotech and Macross, but I wasn't really into collecting comics. And but this kid approached me about the Avengers, and I was like, "Yeah." And he says, "Do you know there's a West Coast Avengers?" Because I'm in California here, and I was like, "Whoa, West Coast Avengers!" Like, what difference does that make, really? but I was just I don't know, just sparked by that, and then I made my mom take me to the comic shop to get the Robotech comic book and the West Coast Avengers comic book. And then my world just opened up because I saw there was so much more. And then the comic shop, indies, and all the other the big two stuff, and then I guess when I started from there, my biggest influence after that would be, I would say, Matt Wagner and Grendel, because I had seen it was the issue of Primer with it was that anthology book from Comico Comics with Grendel on the cover, and Grendel, Hunter Rose was the Grendel when he's unmasked, and he's just like this kid, and the image looks like it was drawn by a kid, and I was fascinated by it because it was behind the counter and it was like $50, and I'm like, what the hell? Why this looks like it was drawn by a kid? And and I was like, if that guy can do it, I can do it.
I kind of feel like that way with Picasso, but I'm not bringing in millions.
But then, you realize Matt Wagner is a great artist, and he developed rapidly as a very good artist after that, after Grendel. And so I was sort of all at the same time, just deluged with manga, mainstream hero stuff, and small publisher stuff because of my experience and just stepping into the comic shop proper for the first time ever. But before that, I would see comics in the racks, and I occasionally get those whatever, a 6-pack of random comics, and it didn't really click. The love for it didn't click until I went to a direct sales store.
So, but what was it like? At what point did you say, "Hey, I'm going to create my own book. I'm going to develop my own IP"?
Well, that was when I was a teenager and doing the
the birth of Nephilim Squadron.
Yeah, the rip-offs of Robotech characters, and then when I went to college, I was a graphic design major and English minor, with the intent of I'm going to do this story, but I want to be trained, and so what better way than to focus my studies on English and graphic design, I guess, for laying out comics. Well, actually, before before the graphic design major, I was a fine arts major, and I really enjoyed the painting and the live drawing and all that. But that became less of a challenge, and I thought, well, graphic design is more practical, and being a famous painter is that chance is few and far between. And, so I was, even then I was kind of practical, but after college is when I became stupid. But,
so you were a late bloomer.
Yeah. I was just, I was party too hard or something. But
well, so
but I was working on this idea the whole time, on and off, and I did like 2 different versions of chapter 1, and maybe I'll show that one day. Maybe it'll be in the making of book. Yeah, and then it all this time this stories and characters are developing in my head, and occasionally I'm writing stuff down and drawing stuff and making pages throughout 30 years. And it wasn't until probably 2017 when I was like, all right, I'm really going to do this now, and I got to stop making changes and procrastinating. So and then that's when I found out about crowdfunding, and before I would listen to YouTube videos of people talking about crowdfunding, and it would just bounce off my head. But one day it stuck, and I was like, whoa, hey, I should do it. I should really finish the story and prepare some promotional material and get on the social media. I'm not a social media guy, really, but I heard that's what you have to do to promote yourself.
Well, yeah, most creators are too busy creating that they're like, that social media stuff is like, I don't have time for that, and really a lot of people don't, and when they do, it's like, unfortunately, not doing it well, but
it becomes awkward. But with 101 backers, it worked in your favor for sure.
It really did.
Oh yeah.
So I still want to kind of speak to the younger HEX ALLEN. You said you went to school for fine arts, minored in writing. Right. So when like you approached your family about that and said, yeah, this is what I want to do, did you get any pushback? Because I know from my own personal experience, they were like, well, that's nice, but how are you going to pay the bills?
Well, shoot, not really any overt pushback, because I don't know, my parents really let me do what I wanted to do, so I was a good kid. I wasn't exactly perfect, I just didn't get caught, but
I hear that.
but I did well in school, so I pretty much got what I wanted. And they didn't care, as long as I'm doing well. It's something they're proud of me for whatever I did.
That's awesome. Now, tell us a little bit about Nephilim Squadron. Now, I'm going to bring that up after we take our break. But so you said that this was something that grew with you. But I want to hear how these characters changed with you.
Yes. Well,
asking the hard questions this morning. Yeah. That's what you get for waking me up.
I know, it's too early.
I'm just kidding, kind of, sort of.
Be gentle. Be gentle to our guest.
Well, I'll start with the villain.
It's called RAGIN,
I'll start with the villain, Seaton Kokar. He is a dictator on this planet colonized by humans, and actually the colony turned into civilization over generations. And Seton Kokar is just one of the latest in a long line of dictators. And when I conceived of this guy, it was at the time of the popularity, no, the notoriety of Saddam Hussein. So I kind of modeled him after Saddam Hussein, with like a big mustache, and you know, he's kind of dark, olive skinned, and you know, I don't care that he's not you know, a Russian or a Nazi. I'm gonna make my villain the way I'm gonna make it anyway. So yeah, and at the time his name was different. He's gone through maybe 2 different name changes. One of them was like a really obvious name, Henry Natas, and Natas is Satan spelled backwards. You know, but I was a teenager. Oh, stupid.
I know that we're so creative back then.
Yeah. And like and Henry I used as like, you know, old Hank is like the devil, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's just so analog and obvious. And then later I changed his first name to Damien, which is even worse because it's like, you know, Damien from The Omen.
Oh yeah.
And then I guess in recent years, when I started getting serious about the crowdfunding, I needed to lock down the names. So it was just sort of a random choice, but Seton came from you know, like a Seton Hall University,
Mm-hmm.
and it may sound like Satan, but that's not the intent. And there's also a third hidden reason why I chose that name.
Mm.
And Kokar is just a cool sounding name, and that's an actual human name. And fun fact, a lot of the names from Nephilim Squadron are character names of they originate from people from high school. There was some people with some real exotic names in my high school, so,
Mm-hmm.
almost alien sounding. So.
Oh, I love doing that.
Futuristic.
It's like it's therapeutic sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
But I write a lot of horror, you know, and there is a lot of bloodletting.
Meredith kills all her enemies.
I do. It's wonderful.
Mm.
And because I don't have time for jail, you know.
Yeah.
So the writing process, then you wrote this, you illustrated it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you also letter it and color all of that?
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about the writing process for you. What was that like? And like kind of get into like, did you do an outline? Were you kind of going by the seat of your pants? Were you using your artist's brain to kind of think about what the panels were and just kind of filled in the blanks? What was that like for you?
Well, the general outline of the entire saga, I'd written that out in an 18-page synopsis, and that
really?
was that was also inspired by, you know, the Iraq War, the first Iraq War at the time, and and a mix, a cross of you know, ripping off elements of Macross, you know, from the manga or the anime, and kind of reworking some stuff, and then from there I just created a lot of character notes in sketchbooks. You know, I had like a little like journal size sketchbooks, 6 of those that are filled up with random stuff and story stuff, and drawings, and then from there it took a while for me to actually sit down and write a script. Yeah, like 5 years after conceiving all of that stuff. So yeah, I don't even remember. It was so long ago, but I had rewritten the script recently, like 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So
now, do you go straight for the script, or do you kind of write prose first and then break down afterwards?
Yeah, mostly just notes. Recently, from the recent rewrite, the final rewrite, I've been just writing a lot of notes in my phone note app, and then from there, and like notes on the computer, the laptop, but they're kind of scattered, and then but I have also assembled like the most important elements and put them into the Bible, the Nephilim Squadron Bible, and then work out conflicts and hopefully try to avoid any plot holes and character motivations, and then that's when I just started writing dialogue in the script, and then oh no, the other way around. At first, in the script, I type out what I want to happen, and then I go back and then do the actual panel layout description, and then add in dialogue in the script, and then go to thumbnails. So yeah, it's kind of a longish process.
Yeah, I mean, making a graphic novel or a comic book really is, and the fact that you're doing it by yourself is a testament to not only the craft, but the willingness and the desire to bring your characters in this story into life. Because it's not easy. I'm telling you, I spent basically last year learning how to create comic books. I'm on my own journey because I've been a prose writer, and it's one of the hardest things that I've ever done. It's a
craft.
Yeah. And not easy, not for the faint of heart, but it's one of those things where, again, you've had this time to work on this and develop it, finally get it out on a crowdfund. And I'm also seeing chapter 1, which suggests that there's more to come.
Yeah.
But Hex, you don't have like 10 years. Let's just say you don't have 10 years to develop chapter 2. All right. I mean, at least these characters are in your head now. You've got them on paper and stuff like that. How fast is chapter 2 coming along for you?
Chapter 2 will be finished. Actually, half of the script is written for chapter 2.
Nice.
But the whole arc is this intended to be 12 chapters. That's all planned out. But see, chapter 2 and 3 will be included in the campaign launching next month, which is volume 1.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know about that?
I did not. Not.
Oh, check that out. I put that in the private chat. That's a mailing list for volume 1.
Very cool. Okay, so I'm definitely going to check that out. But
so I do have a plan.
you do have a plan, and so I love when creators throw out numbers. Right? We've had somebody came in and said, I think it was Michael Watson who said 100 issues, 100 stories.
What?
Somebody else came in and said, I see 50, and then I see 12 chapters here, and these are not small books. When you look at the large picture like that, because I want to say we all have like that final destination, like where we want to go with our projects, right? And sometimes that picture is so big, you're like, I can't look at it. No. But so when you look at 12 chapters and you're like, that's what I want to do, does it ever feel too big?
Not this time, because They're planned to be no more than 22 pages each.
Mhm.
Well, the first chapter is 32 pages. I had to expand it a little bit, for, to introduce the world and everything.
Mhm.
But I planned it to be like a 12 issue maxi series, like Secret Wars and Crisis on Infinite Earths, from back in the 80s. That was kind of the inspiration for that format. So the subsequent chapters will be shorter than chapter 1, and so there's going to be 3 chapters in each volume, so basically 4 campaigns. So it's not going to be 10 years more. I'm going to try to get it done within 3 years.
Mhm. Now, so this also suggests that you've picked a lane. You've got Nephilim Squadron, but from my own experience with writer's brain, there are always other voices in my head, other stories that are always popping in. Do you have other things kind of in development, things that have been kind of speaking to you and you're like, no, wait your turn. I'll get to you when I get to you.
I really, in the back of my mind, want to work on like a slice of life stories.
Mm-hmm.
Because growing up, I would take the bus a lot, and you hear all kinds of interesting, funny, crazy dialogue from people on the bus, or just walking down the street or anywhere you are, and some of that I clip in my brain. Some of it I try to jot down, like some things people say, like incidental dialogue, and I'd like to like work on I don't have an exact plot or anything in mind, but I'm just fascinated by like incidental dialogue.
Does any one pop into your mind? I'll share one if you share one.
Oh, shoot. I really can't. I really can't think of anything, but I can think of something that I heard someone say on the street. Like most of the time, it's since I haven't been leaving the house recently. A lot of what I hear incidentally is people speaking on streams, on YouTube or
right.
Or one thing I heard is somebody say, "Give me some time and a little bit of steel, and I'll take over the fucking world."
Nice. See, I love that. See, mine is it was a former neighbor, from one of the houses that I lived in, and the guy walks out, slams the door, and says, "You can't yell at me like that. You ain't my woman." And that visual has always been in my head. I'm like, what would that look like?
I know. I totally see a cartoon.
Right? Right? I know. It's like, I love that idea. I hope that you run with that. Because I mean, obviously you're kind of keeping busy, and it's really hard to stay on track sometimes when you have something else that's kind of going, hey, I want some attention, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know. I see myself as like an amateur futurist, and but I don't want to be pigeonholed. Don't pigeonhole me.
Right.
as the sci-fi guy or whatever. But yes, I'm not really. I guess I'm genre agnostic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to go into fantasy, office dramedies or whatever. Anything like that.
I mean, that's. I think that's an
Hail
important
Nefarious in the chat. Nefarious is in the chat. He's I'm working in collaboration with him, sort of.
Nice.
When we talk about the
I am. I love that you say that you're kind of genre agnostic, because there are a lot of people who they kind of pick a lane and then they get stuck there, not because they want to be there, but because that's what their base expects. And it's really hard to broaden those horizons sometimes. It's really hard to break out and go, well, I'm going to try this. And now you're looking at this whole idea of finding a new base or hoping that the people who have been following your journey kind of follow along, right? Does that ever worry you?
Not yet, because I really don't have a fan. Well, I guess I have a start of a fan base. But we'll see.
You
Yeah.
have a fan base. Every time you're streaming, there's a few people popping up in your chat. I know. I stalk you.
Oh, all right. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, it's like I Nita and I have had these conversations, you know, where I feel like I'm a jack of all trades, right? Master of none. And it's like, you know, so a lot of times when we put labels on ourselves, you know, like I will say I'm a writer, but I won't say I'm an author. I will say I doodle, but I will never, ever say I'm an artist, you know.
Oh, you should say that.
Because there are things that for me, I guess sometimes I pigeonhole myself, and it's not because I can't do those things or I think that they're less important. It's just like that public persona is, this is the lane that I picked and this is how I choose to show you. But there are so many other things that we all do. How do you, because I see illustrator, I see writer, I see podcaster, all of these things. Do you ever feel like you have to pick a lane?
Yeah, I do. Like sometimes about, I don't know. I mean, but that's kind of in my own head, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think which am I, you know?
Right.
And I but then I put it aside and just do what, you know, rise above and do what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's
And I think a lot of times it speaks to motivation, you know, like, is it the creative spirit that motivates you? Is it money? You know, I mean, at the end of the day, we're investing a lot of time into our craft and, you know, you'd like to see a payoff and stuff, but for some people, they have that problem with, you know, it's like, well, I don't want to be seen as a money grab or, you know, or anything like that. It's like, no, I want to be known as a creative. What would you say is your motivation to continue on with this creative journey?
The biggest thing is that I'm just not done yet, and yeah, I really want to collaborate with more people and see what else, you know, what else I can do, and you know, like I said, I don't want to be just known as the Nephilim Squadron sci-fi guy, you know.
Right.
But I don't know what lies in store in the future, but I don't know. I just feel like I'm not done, and despite being a year away from 50, I feel like I'm just getting started.
Oh, I feel you. I feel you. I'll be 50 this year.
Congratulations.
Yes, I survived this long. And so did my children.
Oh, lucky them.
Well, we are just past the 30-minute mark. Let me just put up a little bump here. Yes. All right, you guys. For anybody who is tuning in, go to GeminiComicsSupply.com and you can get a 10% discount on your Gemini mailers using coupon code VOLT10. That's coupon code VOLT10 for a 10% discount on your Gemini mailers. And you want to do that, you want to make sure that your books, your comics, your images get shipped safely. They have survived Nita's mail lady. So they will survive just about anything. Again, coupon code VOLT10. Thank you to Indie Volt and Varian Grant for sharing that with our audience. We also have Little Bastard Promos. That is our public Facebook group where you are encouraged to do a little bit of self-promo and promo your friends and bring them over. It is not limited to comic books. If you are a writer, if you are an artist, a podcaster, a musician, whatever it is that you do, if you are an independent creator, head over to Little Bastard Promos. The link is at our link tree, RAGIN AVC, and you'll find all our links. Follow us everywhere. Just don't peek in our windows. All right, we're back.
Guess what? I recently took advantage of that promo code.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
you know, we've got another promo also, and that is through Geek Insider, and that is for Mobile Edge. So if you have mobile tech and you want to protect it, they've got a lot of gear over there. You can use coupon code GEEK25 for 25% discount on your mobile tech gear. So that's I don't have a card for that yet. Nita, remind me, I need a coupon code for Geek.
Yes, my lady.
And anybody who is tuning in, our special guest is HEX ALLEN, episode 23 of RAGIN. He's got Nephilim Squadron happening right now, volume 1 on Indiegogo. It's in demand, and guess what? It's ending soon.
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, well, it's ending soon because this is a sort of a canary in the coal mine sort of campaign. This is my first in crowdfunder, and I wasn't sure if it was going to work, so I made it on a small scope and scale, and just to see if people would be interested in the book. And so far, they have been. And what I'm doing here is that this is a special collector's edition of a 32-page black and white floppy comic. And it's an intro into the larger world of Nephilim Squadron, which is launching later this summer in a large volume graphic novel in full color.
Now I'm seeing this number total 150 backers.
150.
Well, I mean, I'm seeing
100.
here 49 backers on January 9th. Was this?
Oh.
Did you first start this over on Kickstarter?
Oh, no. This on Indiegogo. You do the funding period, and then when you hit your goal after either 30 or 60 days, you have to set the 30 or 60 days. I went 60 days total, and it surpassed the goal on January 9th, and then went into in demand.
Oh, okay. So 101 backers altogether.
Yes.
That's still impressive. You had triple digits. Very nice.
Yeah, I know. I'm shocked. But I'm grateful. I'm so happy that this has been a fun ride and kind of a grind, but yeah.
You know, it's like the first time I saw this image here, I thought of, you remember G-Force?
Yeah, G-Force or Gotcha Man.
Yeah. And I was just like, so it was like almost this immediate like familiarity with this.
Battle of the Planets, yeah.
I grew up with that stuff, man. Mark was my man. I wanted to marry him. Okay, I'm just letting you know. Somebody mentioned that on Facebook. They were like, "Who was your first like crush?" And I was like, "Mark."
Wow, that's so cool.
I was like 4.
That cool haircut, right?
Right? Oh my God, everything was cool about him. So here we go. Let's talk about your campaign here. I mean, we've been kind of talking about the genesis of this story, but tell us about the meat of this story. What can people expect when they are flipping through your pages here?
Oh, flipping through the pages. Well, when you're flipping through the chapter 1, you'll be introduced to a far-flung future world of the planet Tamarin 12. This is a planet where human colonists have established a civilization, and over generations, and but they've also been fighting a war with the native beings on the planet. And the thing was, there was never supposed to be any intelligent sentient life on the planet in order for humans to colonize it in the first place. And while this war is going on, there are some changes in the landscape and the atmosphere from where these creatures have originated, and that causes a failure of electromagnetic activity. So nothing electromagnetic can work in this wide, miles long area, and that sparks the interest of a third party who are the Sol Interstellar Forces, and they're a Star Trek Federation like organization, and they come from the home system of Earth, like our solar system, and they kind of oversee what other colonies are doing, and even though this Tamaran 12 has their own like civilization, and they're far removed from the home Earth system, they have got their own culture. They weren't supposed to be in contact with any life on this planet. It's no less than not even starting a war with it. So the Sol Interstellar Forces, they come in and they're sent in to find out how and why the humans have awakened a strange and rapidly evolving species. But on a more personal level, you see there Lieutenant Teru Kaufman. He's the main character. The story really is also his personal journey to find a soul, because he hears it's been there are a lot of weird illegal things on offer on this planet, and he hears that he could possibly acquire a soul for himself because he's a clone on this planet. And so the long story, that's kind of his personal journey. But through the course of the story, he discovers that his destiny is larger than just having a soul. And this story also works on a couple of different levels. On a macro level, it's also an ancient mythological tale that's retold 700 years in the future and on another planet. So there's a lot going on with it, and I had to stop feature creeping and adding stuff and finally release it.
Yeah, so I guess that was another question that I wanted to ask you was, with this mix of science fiction and fantasy. I mean, fantasy, it's like, okay, you can create words, you can create worlds and names and things like that, but when you have that element of science fiction, sometimes that suggests some research, into the tech that they're using. How much research did you do into this? Because I know, you said earlier that there were a lot of influences from the things that, you kind of grew up with and watched, but like when it came down to writing it and learning more and more about these characters in this world as you were creating it, how much research did you have to do?
Well, like you, I am also a jack of all trades, master of none. And I've done a lot of reading on ancient mythology and science, and I've read was a Universe in a Nutshell, and The Brief History of Time from the wheelchair guy, Stephen Hawking, and so I made sure I read that stuff. Well, that's kind of a quote from The Simpsons. The wheelchair guy.
Yeah, I know, but the episode popped in my head.
Yeah. And I read what do you call it? I don't know, Hyperspace from Dr. Michio Kaku. So I tried to make sure I had some of the science. Well, it's speculative, theoretical. Physics, science, who knows what's going to really be, what we're going to be doing 700 years in the future,
Right.
I tried to set it so it's like far enough so that the science is exotic, and not so far that we're all just like so far in the future that every human soul is just a being of light, you know. That would be more like 10,000 years in the future, I think. I don't know. And then to fuse that with this other story I'm trying to tell, I'd read a bunch of stuff about fringe science and, you know, paranormal, and I've had experiences myself, and that's a big influence too. I read what was that guy? Zachariah Sitchin, the 12th Planet, all that Anunnaki stuff, and the Nephilim, and from the Bible, and it's all like a fusion of hopefully focused fusion that influences this thing.
Nice. And so we are getting kind of close to the end of our hour. Are there any members of the team or other people that you might want to shout out? And then we're also going to bring up this the launch of the next thing that you've got coming up here.
Oh yes,
shout outs.
Oh, you see there, that's the work of Jason Krager. He's a fantastic crowdfunding comic book artist. He did his rendition of one of my characters from a mobile game I'm working on, and then
mobile game.
Yeah.
What is this thing? Speak of it.
Well, it's partially gone from the campaign for contributions. What I was doing is before I had artwork from Shield Net Sword, which is a mobile game I'm working on, and it's a simple rock paper scissors game, and done in a 2D side-scrolling manner where you control your character and play rock paper scissors, but with shields and nets and swords.
Nice.
And so I tacked on. I got a little too excited at the beginning of this campaign, and I tacked on all the artwork from that property, which is totally separate from Nephilim Squadron, and it kind of confused people. But some people backed it, and I'm grateful, and those people will still get those items. But I had to take them off to focus and to streamline this campaign page and focus on the book. But yeah, I gathered up some of my pals from crowdfunding and fantastic artists who are guest artists doing their versions of my characters on trading cards. And so far I have 5 of them unlocked in my stretch goals, and I really only need one purchase of the either sketch card tier, $36, and that would put me over to the $3,000 range to unlock Jason Krager's trading card, and that would be great before this thing ends. Then people could get 6 trading cards instead of 5.
Yeah. Very cool. And for anybody who is tuning in, this campaign is slated to end on the 30th, so there are a couple more days before he closes this out. Let's get him over that goal. And if you've already supported it, that's great. Don't forget about him and hit the share button with your network so that other people can see it as well, because that's what we do. That's what we do. And then you let me just stop the screen here for a second, because you said you've got a sign up here for the next campaign. Hold on a second. Let me share the screen.
Yeah, give me that so I can put it on Twitter too.
Hey there, Peter. It's Peter. Peter Palmiotti. Howdy.
Hello for everybody who is tuning in, and again, if you are tuning in from wherever you hail from, make sure that you hit the subscribe button. We are simulcasting through RAGIN ABC, Geek Insider, Comics and More New Jersey, as well as Indie Vault Radio, and we appreciate everybody who is tuning in right now on Indiegogo. Nephilim Squadron Volume 1, not to be confused with Chapter 1. Give us a quick rundown of what this is.
It's more of the same. It's just it's chapters 1 through 3 in an 80-page graphic novel in color. And a mind-bending hard science fantasy graphic novel.
That's right. You want to sign up today. It gets you on the mailing list. You get notified. I believe you get notified on launch day, right? With Indiegogo?
I think so. Yes. Yeah. I have been.
And that way you will know exactly when this goes. And if you're watching on the replay, you will know that he did speak about chapter 2 and 3, kind of combining them into this volume. With several more chapters to come. Now,
here's something that happens in chapter 2 that might entice people. In chapter 2, there's a gun I call the quantum entanglement sidearm, or KESA, and what it does is when it hits its target, it turns it inside out.
Ooh, noms.
There's something for you gore fans.
I'm there. I'm totally there. And I'm in a different tab, so I didn't see Nita's face. So.
Oh yeah. Also, we see we have Nefarious in the chat. He's represents Global Frequency Studios, and we're doing a collab thing where he's launching on the 22nd, July 22nd. And they've got a property called Mavericks Origins Volume 1, and it's a futuristic mech story. And since we're kind of in the same wheelhouse, what we're doing here is we have a third-party artist doing a jam piece for us of both of our properties. And if you back both Nephilim Squadron Volume 1 and Mavericks Origins Volume 1, you'll get that awesome yet to be named special artist print.
Ooh. See, now you have to make sure that you send us the details, either me or Nita.
Yeah, and also, if you're not following me on Twitter, please do so, because it's easier to keep up with you guys and your campaigns and all the awards and rewards you offer. So,
Master Promos, make sure you drop your links over there too, because that is a one-stop place for your links, your self-promotions, and promoting your friends as well. Little Bastard Promos is our public Facebook group, and we encourage that self-promotion. We only ask that, like with the crowdfunds, once a day, and we have a daily prompt for that so that it keeps it all centralized. Why? Because Nita and I also curate crowdfunding campaigns that are ending soon, and those get posted and
Geek Insider
shared out through Geek Insider. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
awesome.
So yeah, we've got a good in over there.
Cool.
So anybody who's tuning in, make sure that you head over to Nephilim Squadron on Indiegogo. You can do a search there. Volume 1 is coming up now.
Right. If we would. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, HEX ALLEN, when do you think you're launching this?
This July 17th.
Okay. And let me write that down. July 17th. All right. So there's plenty of time to gin up some excitement about that as well.
Yeah. I'll have a video ready soon. I didn't have a video for this first campaign.
Yeah. And again, currently in demand, ending soon, like within days. Nephilim Squadron, Chapter 1, an action-packed, hard science fantasy epic that is more than it appears to be. We've got HEX ALLEN with us sitting today, RAGIN with us.
He's too
And,
chill.
I'll be.
Hex doesn't do raging. He's just like so
Oh,
mellow.
well, wait till you see me Wednesday because I'll be drinking on my stream to close my closeout stream.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. Well,
That's right up my alley.
Who knows? Something might happen.
no, I don't want to see you losing your shit either. I bet that would be epic. I bet it would be epic though. Kind of like the pressure cooker, right? It's just like it's good.
Yeah. You'll see another side of me.
Right. Good stuff. So again, anybody who is tuning in, Nephilim Squadron Volume 1, not
Thank
Chapter
you very
1.
much.
That is coming soon in July. But you want to head over to Indiegogo right now because In Demand is ending very soon. You want this in your life because this has been a kind of a long journey. It is something that you've been working on for a long time. I would say a passion project. It has to be if it's been with you this long.
Yeah, definitely.
Probably been along more than most marriages out there. I'm just saying.
True. Absolutely true.
Hex Allen, we are at the end of our hour. Where can people find you?
You can catch me mostly on Twitter at Hex_Allen and Hex Allen Productions on Facebook. And what else? Those are the most important ones. Hex Allen Comics on YouTube. That's Hex Allen, one word, space comics on YouTube. Please subscribe and all that. I'm doing some fun stuff there. I have a series I call the Toxic Cringe Stream with no chill, but it's quite the opposite. And that's a clickbait title. So
now, is that something that you do regularly? Is that a regular show?
Yeah, I try to do it every Sunday, and I'm focusing on having one guest on. And when it started, it was just hey, anyone can come on, and but I'm refining it to what I'm doing now is I'll have a guest on, and whoever wants to promote whatever they want, and if they have a book, I'll do fan art during the stream of their property. Nice. And then have a semi-open panel for people to come in and chat and whatever. So it's I don't know. I'm trying to do something. Just trying to fill up some space on the internet.
Very cool.
That's my kid back there.
And when and where is your next appearance? Whether it's virtual or maybe a Comic-Con.
As far as I know, I'm going to be on with Wise Guy's Tweets. He's another promoter of indie comics, and sometime I think it's like 10 a.m. Eastern on Wednesday, and then I'll do my stream. Or whoever else wants to have me on, I'm available.
Now, you said you're West Coast, so 10 a.m. Eastern, isn't that like 6 o'clock in the morning?
7, yeah.
Oh, if I'd have known that, man, I'd have totally put you later in the day. I don't know why I was.
I am not a morning person. I mean, it was.
Neither one of us are, and I'm scheduled to do it at 11 o'clock in the morning.
We're going to bed at 6 o'clock in the morning. So me calling out, I was just like, to shower or not to shower? No, powder.
Yeah, that's cool.
Don't be scratching and sniffing your screen,
right?
Oh, pretty soon we'll be able to do that.
What happened?
Shh, no. That will not be in my house. Neither will Alexa or Siri. It's bad enough that the minders are through my microphone. Okay, this is just fiction. All right, we're having fun. But Hex Allen, it has been a pleasure to rage with you this morning.
Meredith, thank you for having me. Nita, it's been a pleasure. Thank you again.
Let me put this card up here. Okay, for anybody tuning in, again, we are simulcasting to RAGIN AVC, Geek Insider, Comics and More New Jersey, Indie Volt Radio, as well as Twitch and Twitter. Make sure that you are subscribing wherever it is that you're listening from. And check out Hex Allen and his campaign. It is ending soon. In fact, ending on the 30th. But he's got a new campaign that is going to be launching on July 17th. So make sure that you head over to Indiegogo and sign up for those notifications. Give him some love. And on that note, Nada,
Yo,
final words.
throw my dudes, Meredith.
All right, we're out of here. Thank you, Hex Allen, for being with us.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.